So the heat is on Chris Brown. He is pissed off, basically calling racism on his neighbors. Now, neighbors who have videotaped him riding at a pretty high clip in his Tarzana neighborhood.
On an
That's
ATV,
the video that a neighbor
way.
took of Chris tooling around the Tarzana neighborhood. They say faster than even the speed limit, and you're not supposed to have ATVs on the street.
Right, they're not; those aren't street legal, and they say that he was doing at least 40 miles per hour.
Right,
which
so
is over the speed limit.
You will recall that this all started, we broke a story the other day that the neighbors complained that Chris was doing donuts in his neighborhood around children onto lawns. The police came, they knocked at his door, they wouldn't let the people who answered wouldn't let the cops talk to Chris. Chris is saying it's because he is rich and black, and that's why the neighbors have it in for him.
There's very minimal amount or a way you can drive an ATV like that quad on the street at all. So first of all, it's illegal what he's doing. These neighbors are saying that he's doing this at all hours. He's doing it at 3 in the morning. He's doing donuts in front of their homes when their babies are sleeping, things like that. So there's a lot of complaints about it. And lastly, look, the reality is once we did that story about them going to the police and maybe even the city attorney for possible charges for disturbing the peace, this is what ends up happening. People see him on these quads and they start taking video. And I gotta say, we're told this video was actually dropped off with the police department saying, look, here's the proof of the behavior we're talking about.
And Mike, we should say that the LAPD is turning it over to the LA City Attorney for possible criminal prosecution. Now we will thicken the plot. We're gonna bring in one of Chris's very angry neighbors who is scared. He's
scared of retribution because of what Chris has been doing by his account and the account of several neighbors. He's sort of terrorizing the neighborhood.
So he asked us to alter his voice, which we have done. So neighbor, are you there?
Hey guys, how are you?
We're good. So Chris says this is all a vendetta because he's rich and black.
Well, unfortunately, he's the one that's terrorizing us and holding us hostage in our own city.
How so?
To be honest with you, I was with my son over in Tarzana going to a local elementary fundraiser with about 120 kids in a restaurant. And I witnessed 2 African Americans on ATVs and then another gentleman on a 3-wheeler motorcycle behind him racing down an alleyway. I saw this guy come out of his house yelling at one of the guys on the first ATV as he was crossing over his front lawn. The other guy crossed over his front lawn, and the guy yelled at him, "Hey, get off my lawn," like something out of a movie or something. And he said, "What?" He said, "Get off my lawn." This guy responded, "Everybody parks on your lawn." And the guy was like, "It's okay, man. I'm calling the police right now. I'm on the phone with the cops." He turned around, he raced down through a park where 10 kids were in soccer practice, turned back around onto the street, raced in front of the guy, and said, and the police. And then right then the dude looked at him and said, "Oh, it's okay, Chris." And he said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, you're Chris Brown." And then the guy put his head down, took off back down the alleyway. The guy was on the phone with dispatch, I guess. And then in this medical building down at the end of the alleyway, they turned around and came back at him down the alleyway. The guy got out of the way onto the restaurant's property, and I guess Chris kind of gave him a dirty look and took off. Well, here's the problem with all of that. There is a kids' gym right there, 20 feet from where he was yelling his obscenities with autistic children, and kids across the spectrum were there. They were terrified. They were looking outside the window at all this that was going on.
Hey, neighbor, I know you. I just want to be clear about this. You said that Chris and his friends rode the ATVs on a field where kids were playing soccer?
Yep.
On the field while kids were playing soccer?
On the field where kids were having a soccer practice.
So you guys have called the police how many times? I know you called once.
Oh, we called at least 3 times.
And what are the cops saying?
Down by where he lives. There's other neighbors that right where he lives at the bottom of his hill, 5 houses down, at 3 o'clock in the morning, and quite coincidentally from what he's saying, this gentleman happens to be African American and very affluent. and he lives right there. He asked him at 3 in the morning to stop doing donuts in his front yard, or he was going to call the cops.
Two quick things. One, Chris is saying that you guys have it in for him because he is African American, and you guys treat African Americans differently.
Harvey, if you come to Tarzana, we have all different cultures in Tarzana. It has nothing to do with black or white. We have Latinos. We have more Jewish people in Tarzana than anyone else. We have all types of people that live here, all cultures. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with him breaking the law on a daily basis.
Okay, so now this is the final thing. What you gonna do? I mean,
Yeah, what have you done?
What am I going to do?
Yes. What are you going to do? Or what have you done?
A bunch of us have gotten together, and we've gone ahead and contacted a detective at the West Valley Division. They're now looking into it. Everybody's got to write their statements. They're going to take it to the DA as soon as possible.
And you said that you personally feel threatened.
Oh, yeah. I had to go out and buy a Mossberg 12-gauge shotgun and put cameras up around my house.
Whoa.
You feel that uncomfortable that you went out and bought a shotgun?
Absolutely. I've been raised with guns all my life. I've never had to feel as though I needed to use one, but I'm going to protect my family.
Wow. Okay. Well, listen, thank you for the time. I hope everything peacefully resolves itself.
Yeah, so do we.
Okay, thank you again. Wow. I did not expect it would escalate that high.
Yeah.
Wow.
And by the way, it sounds pretty clear to me that there is some, I don't know, I feel like there's something to what Chris Brown is saying, possibly.
There were little...
Maybe not with, I don't know.
There were little morsels in that.
Yes, there were.